Welcome back. I'm Lou Wieland, and we're sitting here with Terry Anolowitz. Again, I got it right. That's
yes,
twice in a row for me, so that's cool. I'm officially inaugurated into your nationality, which is Polish.
My husband's nationality.
Your husband's nationality. Okay. What is your nationality?
Irish and English.
Irish and English. Okay, good. Anyway, so Terry is very proud of her city. She's the mayor pro tem of Smyrna. I can tell that she's extremely proud of her city, and rightfully so. And we left the last segment on starting to talk about transportation, and you have 285, you have Cobb Parkway, you have the East-West Connector, you have 75, and it doesn't seem like you would have any problems with transportation with all of that going on. But
it's not necessarily transportation and accessibility, it is traffic. And I think that anyone in Metro Atlanta will tell you that traffic is an issue. The 85 bridge collapse has definitely had an impact on us in Smyrna because so many folks have been rerouted onto 285 who normally would have been on 85 southbound going into the city. So we've seen a lot more traffic on 285, which has led to a lot more traffic on the surface streets. And all of this came at a time when people were already beginning to think, well, we have this big development here with SunTrust Park and the Battery. You know, we've always talked about transit. How can we actually start making things happen? So we actually, at our council agenda last Monday night, approved that we're applying for a grant that would, if we are awarded this grant through the Federal Highway Administration, we will use for a transit feasibility study to say, okay, well, what transit options do we have in Smyrna? Because one of the things you hear about when you hear about the top hot real estate markets in Metro Atlanta, whether it's residential or commercial, you're hearing more and more about transit. The perimeter area is booming because they have that access to MARTA. You hear about big companies relocating from Gwinnett County and out in the suburbs towards perimeter and midtown because they have that access to transit. I don't want Smyrna to be having this a post-mortem conversation in 10 years about what should we have done to keep residents and businesses here in Smyrna that might have left because we don't have the transit. So transit is something that we actually talk about a lot. You know, how can we get Smyrna residents to the places where they work? You know, if we have a lot of Smyrna because our location is so convenient to so many different employment centers, you know, to downtown, to Buckhead, to perimeter. How could people get there not in their cars? And so that is a conversation that we're definitely having.
good. Well, you have a bus line too, right?
Cobb Link is the bus line. They run about every 30 minutes, and they have expanded service. So you can actually now take the Cobb bus line. You can get to Arts Center Station to link with MARTA, and you can also link now with Hamilton Home Station if you want to head into town through the west side.
Great. That's at 14th and Peachtree, right?
The Art Center is at 14th and Peachtree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So, wow, that's fantastic. The average commute is 29 minutes for residents.
Yes, which is definitely less than the average for the metro area.
Right. Well under that.
Yes, yes.
Especially if you live where I live in Roswell. You know, it's like an hour. I talked to some people who spend an hour and a half, actually, of commuting.
It is a lot of why my family located to Smyrna is because my husband commutes downtown.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, that is a great. Does he take the bus or does he drive?
He does not. Now, many, many years ago, there was a trolley that went from the Marietta Square all the way down towards downtown Atlanta and onto Decatur, and it went right down Atlanta Road. And you can see some of the spots where the trolley stops were at different places throughout the county. So if we still had the trolley, he'd probably take that, but he does drive into work. But he actually doesn't even take the interstate most days. He takes Atlanta Road to Marietta Boulevard, which is another great way to access the west side and west midtown and downtown Atlanta from Smyrna.
Right. I've done that myself. You take it down there through that industrial area, and you can...
Which is less and less industrial.
Yeah. And I think that's poised for growth, that area.
It is.
But so, you had a special purpose local option sales tax referendum passed for $52 million recently in November of 14.
Yes, that was for SPLOST, the 2016 SPLOST. So the county began collecting revenue from that. It's a penny sales tax, and that went into effect in January of 2016. So now we are working on projects, and that, of course, is distributed from the county to the different cities within the county. And we have several joint county-city projects that we're actually doing together as a way to maximize the impact of these funds. And one of those projects is the Windy Hill Boulevard project. You know, Windy Hill Road runs through a lot of Cobb County and runs between Smyrna and heading you into East Cobb, also taking you out into West Cobb towards Paulding County. And we see a lot of people who drive through Smyrna, and parts of Windy Hill Road just have not had the capacity to handle that increased traffic. So what we'll be doing with this boulevard project is having a combination of local lanes and express lanes, and it will even have at-grade crossings and then express lanes that run below grade, similar to how you see a lot of city streets in downtown Washington, D.C., where if you live in Smyrna, you're a local, you want to get from your neighborhood to a shop on the corner, you can take lanes that are off to the side that are local lanes. If you're just trying to drive through Smyrna to get from West Cobb to I-75, you will just zoom on through. And so it should really alleviate a lot of the traffic problems that we have right now on Windy Hill Road. That's a big project that we have that we're able to do as a result of the funds we raised through SPLOST. Other infrastructure projects that we do through SPLOST are things like adding sidewalks, adding to the multi-purpose trail network that we have, adding traffic circles. We have several intersections throughout the city where you have a lot of streets that come together. You have traffic lights that take a long time, and those intersections were just made for a traffic circle. So we'll be adding some roundabouts in areas around the city.
Now, Windy Hill Road goes right to the Brave Stadium, right? And doesn't it
to the northern end of the Battery and SunTrust Park? Yes, it does.
So that's a good access road for people coming in from the west.
It is. Windy Hill, it really is. And I think more people probably take Windy Hill and then take Cobb Parkway down to get into the stadium than take Spring Road even.
I wouldn't be, if I were, maybe you could even go around 285 to a little exit past Cobb Parkway and then come in on Windy Hill Road. Don't tell anybody.
Oh, no. Well, and that's one of the reasons why we haven't had the traffic that people were afraid of with SunTrust Park, is because there are so many different ways to access the stadium. And I know the Braves, it's a case study now how the Braves have partnered with Waze, the traffic app, to really route people around the stadium, and it's really worked well to alleviate any kinds of major traffic congestion. If someone is thinking of moving to Smyrna and they're hesitating because they're concerned about traffic because of SunTrust Park, I would encourage them to come to a game. Those are fun, and come any other time also, because you'll really see that the infrastructure has been so well designed and it's been so smoothly implemented that we really are not having congestion issues or traffic problems. What we are having is a lot of fun.
So you have a lot of appreciation in not only commercial real estate values, but residential real estate values as a result of SunTrust Park. Absolutely.
I think that you can definitely link a lot. People are, the Marietta Daily Journal talked about how Smyrna is a real estate hotspot right now. Our home sales are outpacing a lot of other parts of Metro Atlanta, and I definitely think that part of that can be attributed to the growth that we're seeing in the Cumberland area around SunTrust Park.
The Cumberland CID is generating a lot of jobs, too.
Yes, that is a major employment center now. I actually have neighbors who ride their bikes to their offices in the Cumberland CID.
Wow, that's pretty impressive to be able to ride your bicycle to work, and that's probably why you're so successful in attracting so many millennials.
Definitely.
It's one of the great areas of this country that's growth-wise for millennials.
It is, and that's really been a focus for us for the past several years also. We want to attract millennials. We want them to put down their roots and to ultimately make Smyrna their home. We didn't have enough housing for them, so we've been thinking strategically and trying to act in ways that will increase housing options for the millennial population, and also so that our seniors, people who have lived in Smyrna for decades, but they don't want their large house with the big yard anymore, so they can stay in Smyrna also. Okay,
so there's plenty of opportunity to do that because of all the new construction. And
definitely.
We'll talk a little bit about that right after the break, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.